Man accidentally finds an ATM glitch and somehow withdrew $1.6 million. Dan Saunders was having a good time at a party when he realized he needed more money. So he left the party place and went to the nearest ATM to get some cash. When he started using it, he noticed that the ATM was letting him withdraw way beyond what he had in his account. There was a glitch between 1 a.m. and 3 a.m. when the ATMs got disconnected from the internet. Because of this glitch, Dan found out he could make money almost magically. When he realized this amazing ability, he decided to use it as much as he could. This allowed him to basically create money out of nothing, so he decided to take advantage of it. An average Australian man discovered himself living the life of the rich and famous after taking advantage of an ATM issue in a narrative that seems like it belongs in a movie. A bar employee named Dan Saunders discovered a flaw that let him take money out even though the transaction was cancelled. A flurry of opulence, lavish spending, and private planes ensued, all made possible by the malfunction. But as they say, good things come to an end, and Saunders had to deal with the fallout from his actions ultimately. An unaware bartender named Dan Saunders found the ATM bug that would permanently alter his life. He had no money when he tried to take money out of an AB ATM after working at his neighborhood. Even though the credit card transaction was cancelled, he was still able to withdraw $200 by moving money from his credit card to his savings account. He kept taking out additional cash out of sheer curiosity after learning that there was a bug that made it possible for him to obtain money without it showing up on his statements. With his newly acquired fortune at his disposal, Saunders adopted a millionaire's lifestyle. He stayed in opulent hotels, ate at fine dining establishments, and went on luxury shopping binges. The temptation of his sudden wealth caused him to embark on his first private jet journey, flying to a distant Asian island with his companions for an incredible $90,000. Saunders was ecstatic with his newfound lifestyle and became addicted to the rush of creating money out of thin air. Saunders was excited, but he was also constantly afraid of being discovered. He was aware that what he was doing was against the law and that anyone could be arrested at any time. But for 2 years, Dan received no word from the authorities. Dan chose to turn himself into the police after visiting a psychiatrist for fear and guilt, however, not before telling his story on national television. He decided to turn himself in when the fear got to be too much for him. He came to the realization that he didn't want to lead the life of a perpetually fugitive international criminal. He ended his double life with regret and got ready to deal with the fallout. Dan later spoke about the incident. "I transferred $200, 117 pounds, from my credit account to my savings, and it spits out the card and said transaction cancelled. That struck me as being really strange, so I made the decision to try taking $200 out of my savings account to investigate. Yes, it did indeed work." He decided to test the machine again after a couple more beers to see how far he could push it. "I put the card in again and started playing around because I'd been thinking about how weird the whole thing was," he said. "To extract the money, I made another $200, 117 pounds, transfer. Next, $500, 293 pounds, and finally, $600, 351 pounds, merely to observe the outcome." Following his public disclosure to the bank and media, Saunders faced charges of deceitfully acquiring $1.6 million in funds. He received a 1-year prison sentence in 2015. Saunders says he doesn't regret anything, even after all. Even though he admits he misses the lavish lifestyle on a daily basis, he has made the decision to move on. He's learned his lesson and isn't going to do it again. He's currently making $22 an hour working in a restaurant. In Dan Saunders' story, an ordinary man discovers an ATM problem that propels him into an opulent life, reminiscent of a suspenseful movie premise. But ultimately, he was sentenced to a year in prison as a result of the fallout from his deeds. Saunders may have missed the rich lifestyle, but he has moved on and accepted his lot in life. His experience serves as a warning, showing us that taking even the most alluring shortcuts can have unfavorable outcomes.